Mercedes were once again frustrated as they remained off the blitzing pace of the Red Bulls in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, with their star driver Lewis Hamilton issuing a devastating assessment of just how fast Red Bull is compared to even Mercedes' most dominant years. It sparked a lot of talk about the Mercedes B-Spec car, which team principal Toto Wolff revealed has been in the works since the team realised the W14 concept is flawed at its core. Instead, Mercedes is said to be working on a car that will be much more similar to Red Bull's, which is in stark contrast to how the Brackley team approached development in previous years. So what scathing comments did Hamilton make about the Mercedes team's performance this time? And has Toto Wolff accepted that they will have to copy the RB19 to get back to the front? Well, you'll have to watch until the end of the video to find out. Hamilton finished 5th in Sunday's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, as Mercedes remained well off the pace of Red Bull, who secured a second 1-2 in as many races this season. Sergio Perez won from pole position, but reigning world champion Max Verstappen's effortless advance through the field from 15th on the grid following a technical failure in qualifying demonstrated Red Bull's blistering pace. Hamilton, who won 6 of his 7 world championships during Mercedes' constructors' title streak from 2014 to 2021, revealed that the pace Red Bull has shown this season is much scarier than even Mercedes' most dominant years. "I have definitely never seen a car so fast," he said. "When we were fast, we were not that fast. It is the fastest car I've seen, especially compared to the rest. I don't know how, but Verstappen came past me with some serious speed. I didn't even bother to block him because there was a massive speed difference. Everyone wants to see a close battle, but it is the way it is. It's not my problem, it is not my fault." Hamilton was a dejected figure after qualifying more than 3 tenths and 4 places behind teammate George Russell, but he was able to gain 2 places in the race to finish directly behind the other Mercedes and ahead of both Ferraris. But while Hamilton said there were positives to take away from his race on Sunday, the 38-year-old remained frustrated by his team's deficit to Red Bull and Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso, who finished 3rd for the 2nd race in a row. "We are still a long way off Red Bull," Hamilton said. "It's definitely strange to see that Ferrari are behind us, and it's positive for us. It's a different surface here, and we don't really understand why on this surface our car works one way and different on another. It will be up and down though the first 3 races. Hopefully we can get some upgrades ASAP and try to close that gap to the Astons." Hamilton, who finished 2nd to Russell in his younger teammate's first year with Mercedes, suggested his deficit in Saudi Arabia was due to a setup decision that went against him. He revealed that his direction would have been the more correct one more often than not, but as luck would have it, it turned out to be less desirable in what he called a 50-50 chance. But apart from the realities of where they are in comparison to their competitors, Hamilton has also been under pressure following the recent resignation of his performance coach, Angela Cullen. Cullen joined Hamilton in 2016 and was with him for 4 consecutive world championships from 2017 to 2020. The New Zealander, who was not with Hamilton at this weekend's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, quickly established herself as an important member of the team and was a near constant presence in the Formula One paddock. Hamilton and Cullen both confirmed her departure on Instagram on Friday, but neither provided a reason for the decision. Cullen stated that she is off on her next adventure, but has not yet revealed what her new role will be outside of Hamilton and Mercedes. But according to F1 presenter Martin Brundle, Cullen's departure is bad news for Hamilton as he continues his quest for a record 8th driver's title. It's not great news for Lewis because whenever you saw Lewis in the pit lane or paddock, Angela was with him supporting him. When he was off training, she'd be with him as well, Brundle said. So he'll have to find somebody new, but nothing's forever, as we know. I'm sure it won't detract from his overall performance, but it's such a treadmill now, the Formula One season, and Angela wants to go and do something else. You can completely understand that. While Cullen's departure made headlines in Jeddah, it pales in comparison to Toto Wolff's comments, revealing how the development of their new car concept is going. The Austrian team principal even warned Red Bull that if they are concerned about the finished car resembling theirs, they will have to deal with it. The Mercedes boss went on to say that there is no dogma when it comes to the team looking at others and determining which approach will yield the best results for them moving forward. with Wolff having confirmed that significant changes will be made to their car over the next 7 races. He explained that the staff members back at their Brackley base are working as hard as they can to turn things around on that work in the pipeline, with Mercedes clearly eyeing possibilities beyond the best of the rest tag behind a dominant Red Bull package as things stand. Well, the question is, what is your benchmark? If you look at the Red Bulls, they're just so quick that I think we understand the car more is what I meant, Wolff said. I'm looking optimistic in the future because we need to put in a different window. We're changing the bodywork of the car, how the floor works, all these things mechanically. We're looking at certain areas, and the team in Brackley is just flat out, and that is really nice to see that we can monetize on the Sundays on that. When Wolff elaborated on how the W14 would change in the future, he said he didn't care who invented the quickest way around current Formula 1 regulations, arguing that however it looks, it will end up on the Mercedes. I don't know, you can call it a Red Bull or Aston Martin concept, but at the end, if it looks like an English double-decker bus, we would do it if it was fast, put a little sticker, Red Bull if they want to have it on. But as Mercedes surely understands, changing the car's concept entails more than just slapping Red Bull side pods on it. It involves re-evaluating the entire thing. As for Mercedes, it's a case of 1 step back, 2 steps forward, because whatever incremental upgrades the Brackley squad introduces will need to work as a whole, not just in isolation, which will undoubtedly require trial and error. This is where their 2022 season woes may actually come in handy, as the team will have more development time in the wind, tunnel and computer simulations than Red Bull and Ferrari. Of course, this ignores the threat that Aston Martin poses in this regard, as they have even more potential resources to push for upgrades. But Mercedes will simply have to cross that bridge when it comes. For the time being, Red Bull are the ones with the target on their backs. And as 2016 world champion Nico Rosberg pointed out, Aston Martin's recent performance boost isn't all that bad either. Rosberg believes that seeing Aston Martin improve by 2 seconds per lap in 6 months, as Wolff pointed out in Bahrain, inspired Mercedes to revise their concept. Last season, the car Aston Martin put on the grid for the first race was not the car with which they finished the championship, with the team introducing a B-Spec Red Bull-esque car at the Spanish Grand Prix. This year's AMR23 follows suit and bears a striking resemblance to the title-winning Red Bull RB18. I would say it's the Aston Martin jump that has helped Mercedes in this decision, said Rosberg, because if some other team with lesser competencies, I would still say, is able to make such a giant jump by following the Red Bull concept, then imagine the jump they can make with their ability. And also, I'm sure that's something that's really helped Mercedes to make this decision. The German also threw his support behind beleaguered technical director Mike Elliott, following fellow former driver Ralf Schumacher's comments that keeping him in his role could be problematic given his support for the current concept. According to Rosberg, Elliott designed the car that helped Mercedes claim their dominance over Red Bull in 2014, and he sees no reason why the Briton can't do it again. It's certainly a much more optimistic outlook than some other pundits have expressed about Mercedes' internal solution, and it'll be interesting to see how Mercedes B-Spec car development progresses as more information becomes available. But what are your thoughts on Mercedes' next steps? Will it be another slow grind to compete for a single win, as it was last season? Or is Mercedes on the verge of producing a genuine championship contender that will allow them to maintain relevance for the duration of this regulatory cycle? We'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. If you'd like the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos.